Hello lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is DK Onying. In this tutorial I want to show you an easy way on how to draft a basic sleeve block. Join me and let us get our basics right. So as you can see, I just rule a line which is going to serve as our top line because I want to use exactly the edges of the paper. So that's going to be our top line. I did at the top and at the side. So after that, I'm going to impute my sleeve length. My sleeve length is 25. Impute it across, as you can see. After that, I'm going to impute my shoulder to elbow line. My shoulder to elbow line is 13.5. So I'm just going to impute it across to get our elbow line, as you can see. Then use my ruler to make the markings visible, as you can see. So after that, we are going to create a box to guide us before we can impute our measurement. So the box we are going to create, you just bring out your front pattern and measure what is on the chest line of your front pattern. Measure what is on the chest line. Mine is 8.75 inches. So whatever you get, you multiply it by 4 because your front pattern is on fold. So to get for the front and the back, that is 8.75 multiplied by 4. Your result multiplied by 4. So mine is 35. I got 35. 8.75 multiplied by 4. I got 35. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it by 6. So I got 5.8 and add 1.5 inches to it. I have 7.3 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and impute 7.3. Then pick up my tape and continue from where I imputed it before and mark 7.3, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat what I did through, as you can see, 7.3, 7.3. Just repeat it all across from the top line to the sleeve length line. I use my ruler to make the markings and the points visible, as you can see. You can see now we have our box to guide us to impute our measurement. So we are going to impute our cap height. So for us to get our cap height is going to be our bust, the round bust. My round bust is 34. Divide it by 12. So dividing by 12, I got 2.8. Then I added 1.5 to 2.8 to get 4.3. Divide your round bust by 12, add 1.5 to it. Whatever you get is what you're going to impute as your cap height. As you can see where I'm placing my tape to impute my cap height. So after that, use my ruler to make the markings visible, as you can see. That is our shoulder to cap height, shoulder to elbow line, and shoulder to sleeve length line, which is also the wrist. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a slant line, as you can see, on that cap height area, from the shoulder to the cap height, in between the box, as you can see. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and get the midpoint of that line, as you can see. Just watch the way I place my tape to get the midpoint. So that's the midpoint. So I'm going to repeat the same thing onto the other side. as you can see, get the midpoint. Watch the way I place my tape to get the midpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and label. That's my front and that's the back. Go ahead and label yours to avoid any form of confusion. So on the front part where I'm pointing out, I'm just going to rule out that midpoint downwards. So on that front part, I'm going to come down by half of an inch. You come down by half of an inch. Then on the back area, I'm going to go up by half of an inch. You all go up by half of an inch on the back and come down by half of an inch on the front. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my French curve to connect it to create my armhole curve. So as you can see, do the same thing to the other side. I'm trying to connect it, but my French curve is not really giving me that curve. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come out by 1 inch from that midpoint. Just watch where I place my tape. Come out by 1 inch. 1 inch to guide me. I'm just trying to explain why I came out by 1 inch, because my French curve was not giving me the curve I actually wanted. As you can see, I'm still trying to explain. So just come out by 1 inch. But if you have the armhole curve, make use of it. So I'm just going to use my hand and draw my armhole curve. If you have your armhole curve, please make use of it. Then I'm also going to repeat the same thing to the back sleeve. As you can see, connect it. So I want to check if my French curve will give me what I want, but it's not working. So I'll just try again. As you can see, it's not giving me what I want. But if you have your armhole curve, please make use of it. So what I'm going to do is just place my tape and come out by 1 inch. Just watch where I place my tape, come out by 1 inch and connect it to the half of an inch at that midpoint. As you can see, I'm just using my hand. But please, if you have your armhole curve, please make use of it. So I'm just going to check if my armhole curve is going to help me again. It did not. So just come out by 1 inch from the midpoint of my sleeve pattern, as you can see. Then check if it's going to help me. It actually did. So as you can see, I was able to draw the curve with my French curve. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend it so it's going to be curvy. Now armhole is curvy. So here's our armhole curve, as you can see. So on the elbow line, I'm going to impute my elbow. My elbow, round elbow is 10.5. Divided by 2 is 5.25. So impute it on the two sides, both on the front and the back. I'm just going to do the same thing on the wrist. My wrist is 8. My round wrist is 8. Divided by 2, I have 4. Impute 4 on the front and 4 on the back, as you can see where I placed my tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the dots, the markings I made, to make it visible with my ruler. As you can see, do the same thing to the front pattern also, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect my shoulder to elbow line to my cap height line. So I'm going to use my French curve to create a little bit of a curve beneath the cap height line. Just watch what I'm doing. But if you have your armhole curve and if it's going to give you exactly what you want, just use it all through. But my French curve did not give me exactly what I wanted. That was why I used the French curve halfway, and I used my ruler to connect it and use my hand to blend it up to give me that curve. Do the same thing to the front sleeve pattern also. So I just use my hand and blend it to get what I want, as you can see. So that's our front and back. So I went ahead to cut it out. So you're going to add half of an inch all around where I'm pointing out, half of an inch all around. So if you're going to sew your pattern, let me just show you what I want to explain. After adding your half of an inch seam allowance, so where I am going to point out, you sew with 0.75 of an inch. As you can see, I've got my fabric using my pattern. I added 0.5 inch all around as my seam allowance. Then at the sleeve length line, I used 1 inch, as you can see. So I'm just going to show you how to fold it in. Just fold it, that's 1 inch in before you cut it. Then you open it up to avoid shortage. As you can see, that new shape there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the excess fabric. There, after I marked my 1 inch, I still have an excess fabric left. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and trace out this midpoint, then notch it to indicate it on my fabric, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift my pattern from my fabric. So you can go ahead and try and indicate the front and the back on your pattern so as to avoid confusion. When you want to sew it, you can decide to use your chalk to label it on the fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the pins, the office pins. Transfer the midpoint also and notch it at the sleeve length line. As you can see, just lift up the pins. So I removed my pattern. So you can decide to use your chalk to indicate the front and the back on your fabric, whichever one you want, or you can decide to notch one side of your armhole. Or mine, I'm just going to notch the front side of my armhole. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.